Can Arsenal go on to win the Premier League title this season? This argument will be settled in the video. A few years ago, I watched something in football that almost felt impossible. A team walked through the most competitive league in the world, and nobody could beat them. 38 matches, not one defeat. I'm talking about the season when Arsenal F.C. stopped being just a football club and became a myth, the Invincibles. And if you were watching that season the way I was, you could feel something strange building week after week. Because at first, nobody noticed. It just looked like Arsenal were playing well. Then 10 games passed, still unbeaten. 15 games, still unbeaten. And suddenly every match started to feel different. Opponents weren't just trying to win anymore. They were trying to be the team that ended the run. But every time the whistle blew, Arsenal looked untouchable. I remember watching Thierry Henry glide past defenders like the ball was tied to his foot. It didn't look like effort, it looked like freedom. Then there was Bergkamp, doing things with a football that honestly didn't make sense. Little flicks, impossible passes, moments that made the crowd gasp before the ball even reached its target. And in the middle of it all was Patrick Vieira, strong, fearless, like a captain dragging the whole team forward. But what made it even more fascinating was the man on the sidelines, Arsène Wenger. While other managers screamed instructions, Wenger stood there calmly, hands in pockets, almost like he knew something everyone else didn't. And slowly, the numbers started becoming ridiculous. 20 matches, still unbeaten. 25, still unbeaten. Now the pressure was enormous, because football history was watching. The Premier League had seen champions before, great teams before, but nobody had ever finished a full season without losing. Every stadium Arsenal walked into felt hostile, fans desperate to see the streak finally break. Every tackle harder, every mistake magnified, but somehow they kept escaping. 30 games, still unbeaten. 35 games, still unbeaten. At that point, it didn't even feel like a football season anymore. It felt like watching a legend being written live. And when the final whistle blew on that last match, 38 games, 0 defeats. The league had thrown everything at them, and nobody could bring them down. That's when the name stuck forever. The Invincibles. A team so dominant that even today, decades later, people still measure greatness against them. But here's the strange part. Because when I watch Arsenal today, I sometimes see the shadow of that team again. Not the exact same team, not the same players, but the same hunger. Under Mikel Arteta, this new Arsenal side has been building something dangerous. Fast football, young players, energy everywhere. And for the past few seasons, they've come painfully close. Second place, again. Second place, again. Every year they climb the mountain, and every year they look down and see the same obstacle behind them. Manchester City F.C., relentless, experienced, always right there. It's almost cruel. Because this current Arsenal team plays some of the most exciting football in England. You can see the belief growing. The fans can feel it. The stadium roars differently now. And this season, something feels different again. For most of the year, Arsenal have been right at the top of the table, winning big matches, controlling games, looking like a team ready to take the crown again. For a moment, it felt like history was about to come full circle. The same club that once ruled the league without losing a single game, finally ready to lift the trophy again. But football never makes things easy, because just behind them, breathing down their necks, is Manchester City. And if you've watched the Premier League long enough, you know what that means. City don't panic. City don't slow down. They just keep winning, quietly, relentlessly, like a machine that never runs out of fuel. Which means Arsenal are now standing in the most dangerous moment of any title race. The final stretch. The part where nerves appear, where every small mistake suddenly feels huge, where the dream can either become reality or slip away again. And that's what makes this story so fascinating, because somewhere in the history of this club, there's a reminder of what Arsenal can become. A team that didn't just win the league, a team that refused to lose. The Invincibles set a standard that almost feels impossible to reach again. But football has a funny way of repeating itself when you least expect it. So the real question now is simple. Can this new Arsenal team finally finish the story they've been writing for years? Or will Manchester City once again play the role of the villain right at the final moment? Because if Arsenal manage to hold their nerve this time, it won't just be another title. It will feel like the ghost of that legendary, unbeaten team, finally smiling again.